As for the male friend who claims to have taken Loree to the mall, he has never been named a suspect in this case. There's at least a good foot of water here. That's how bad the flooding is in some parts of Ellison Park right now. The night started off a little bit slow, but as those results started to come in throughout the night, this place became energized. That's when he pulled up his car onto the sidewalk and allegedly started firing shots to a group of people standing in the yard. His organization was led to believe these signs could be posted as long as they fit certain size and color standards set by the DOT. Some people are relieved. They say they're ready for things to go back to normal, but others say, you know what, it was kind of nice having some fun and excitement downtown.
We love your perpetual smile through it all.
I don't think she's really smiling.
I'm trying to smile so I won't cry. Robert Bellevue actually has surveillance cameras set up at his home, so the whole burglary was caught on tape.
The driver of the car, Meghan Merkel, was charged with drunk driving, and she spoke exclusively with our own Angela Hong tonight about what happened. Compelling words as she described it tonight for us, Angela.
Yeah, Don, according to the sheriff's office, Mark Serbo and Meghan Merkel should not have been driving Sunday morning. That's because neither of them have driver's licenses. And as you said, we did speak to Meghan Merkel tonight, and she does admit that she was drinking before, but claims that at the time of the accident, she wasn't drunk. We spoke to Merkel on the condition that we did not show her face. Along a stretch of Route 250 in Penfield, you'll see a newly erected cross.
Cars have been going in there all day, putting flowers in,
Stopping to remember 40-year-old Heather Boyum, a beloved teacher at Fairport High School. Police say on Sunday morning, Boyum was riding her bike here when she was hit by a motorcycle driven by 22-year-old Mark Serbo, throwing her onto the pavement. That's when a car driven by 23-year-old Meghan Merkel ran Boyum over.
Mark was getting ready to pass me, obviously, and he hit the lady, they were in the corner of my car, so there was nothing I can do. It was too quick for me to be able to turn or anything.
Merkel confirms police reports that Serbo was speeding and popping wheelies. Do you feel like what he did was reckless?
Yes, I do. It was. It's stupid because he's, like me, I shouldn't have been driving either, but he just got out of prison 2 weeks ago.
Serbo served under 9 months for DWI convictions from 2011. Merkel claims she drank less than 1 can of beer a few hours before the accident. She says Serbo also had been drinking. So far, he has not been charged with DWI.
I feel really bad, and I wish that I could talk to them, but I have no idea if I can send them a letter or where to send it to, or even talk to somebody, her husband, her kids, and I would want to apologize. I feel really bad.
The neighbors who've watched the pain of family and friends stopping by the memorial say they're angry and saddened.
It's very disturbing, very disturbing. I mean, she leaves 2 children and senseless. It's just a senseless thing.
Mark Serbo was arraigned this evening at Strong Memorial Hospital, where he is recovering tonight. This crash is still under investigation, and there may be more charges pending. Reporting live in Penfield, Angela Hong, 13 WHAM News. Midterms, finals, papers, and projects. Add to that a social life and extracurricular activities. Some college students struggle to find the time to do it all.
The workload is pretty heavy.
This student, a sophomore at a local university, chose to remain anonymous. He's just one of many college students who turn to Adderall to study. He considers these, quote, smart pills to be a miracle drug.
You're a lot more focused. So that's the only way to really describe it. Anything you're thinking about, like you can just focus on just that one thought. So it's a lot harder to get distracted.
Adderall is an amphetamine and can have similar effects to cocaine. When misused, people can form physical and psychological addictions. Take them when you don't have ADHD. You can stay up through the night or even for days.
I stayed up for 72 hours working on one assignment. So I ended up getting like a really good grade on it.
A new study in the Addiction Journal estimates 1 in 4 college students have abused ADHD drugs.
I would say if it's not an epidemic yet, it's on its way to being that.
Sarah Ormsby, an addiction therapist with Unity Hospital, says accessibility is a part of the problem.
They get them from friends who are prescribed Adderall and just aren't using them as prescribed, and then we'll have extra to give to these other people.
According to IMS Health, prescriptions for Adderall have increased 68% between 2007 and 2010. How easy is it to get Adderall?
Really, really easy. It's everywhere. If you asked 5 people, chances are one of them would know someone. And if you asked 10 people, chances are he could just give you some because he had a prescription.
On the street, each pill can cost $5 up to $30. Sometimes the cost goes up around finals time. For Dr. Ralph Manchester, so do the number of students walking through his door.
Every year in December and May around finals, we see a handful of students coming in with rapid heartbeat, feeling lightheaded, generally feeling not well because they've taken too much of this kind of medication.
He believes students underestimate the dangers of prescription pills.
And I think in general there's some misunderstanding that if it's a prescription drug, it can't be as dangerous as an illegal drug.
Studies show long-term Adderall abuse can lead to stroke, heart attacks, depression, and even psychosis. But in the short term, for this student, grades are all that matter. With Adderall, he says his C's and B's become A's.
And the difference between an A and a B can be huge.
He knows the dangers, but he thinks the outcome is too good to stop.
If you can just go to one of your friends and take a pill and improve your grades, why not?
Why not? Well, doctors point out as your body adjusts to Adderall, you will need more and more, increasing the risk of an overdose. And then there's the law. The punishment for buying or selling pills could be a minimum of 1 year in jail. If you or someone you know is abusing prescription pills, you'll be able to find help on 13wham.com. Just click on the green Find It button. Reporting Angela Hong, 13 Wham News. It's the first of many goodbyes to come. On Christmas Day, Monroe County firefighters gathered to salute 19-year-old Tomas Kachuka as his body was escorted to a funeral home.
His last actions were leaving this fire station. This was his home. He was here all the time, so it was only natural for, after the body was released, that he'd be brought back to where it started.
Kachuka and 43-year-old Lieutenant Mike Chipperini were both West Webster firefighters. They were shot Christmas Eve while responding to a fire. The two men were good friends.
Tomas was quiet. He did his job pretty much unnoticed. Didn't look for any thanks or anything like that. He just did what needed to be done. Chip his personality was such as he could make you laugh in the worst of situations, or he'd find something to laugh about. And he did it naturally. Amidst
their pain and grief, the West Webster firefighters returned to work the next day, on Christmas.
We want them to return to a point of normalcy as quickly as possible. And obviously it's not going to be quick. And the first few runs that they go out on, quite frankly, they may be looking over their shoulder. But at some point in time, this organization has to get back to what we do.
And after 36 hours of filling in for West Webster, area fire departments left. And West Webster pulled in, knowing if needed, they had the support of the community and their brother firefighters.
We're all family, yep, brothers and sisters. It's going to be a long time before this department gets over this. I understand. And, you know, if they need us to come back and help out, we'll be here.
If it was any other day and you threw something at a police officer, you would probably get arrested. But today, students at RIT were given a get-out-of-jail-free card, so to speak. We began with breaking news this morning. A person has been shot in the city of Rochester. Good morning, I'm Angela Hong, in for Adam Chodak. Police got the call just before midnight. We're told a 22-year-old woman was shot in the torso. Less than a month after being elected, a former RIT professor has been voted out as the Prime Minister of Libya. A strike deadline in the nation's third largest school district looms Monday. The vice president of the Chicago Teachers Union says the city's school district's latest offer in contract negotiations is disappointing.
It looks more like the end of October or early November as opposed to where we are right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've already had to bring out my space heater, and I did not think I'd be doing that this early.
The state is investing big development bucks into housing.
Economic Development Awards will fund nearly 24 housing-related projects throughout the Finger Lakes regions. How do you eat well this time of year without putting on those extra pounds? Joining us now is Katie Torres, a Weight Watchers leader, with some ways to make some of those favorite holiday treats kind of slimmer, right? Slim us down a little bit.
It seems silly.
But let's give credit to 17 Magazine at the same time, because at least they're doing something. because
True.
a lot of magazines out there
Yeah,
still, you know, like GQ, Photoshop pictures like this, changing the way people look.